name's Chris Larson, head golf professional at Osgood. I've got a big cast of misfits today. You guys want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Matt Cook, and I'm the head professional at Rose Creek Golf Course and Prairiewood Golf Course.
Chris Kroetsh at Rose Creek Golf Course.
Hi, I'm Greg McCullough, golf professional at Edgewood and El Zago Golf Courses.
And I am Maier. I used to be behind the camera. They brought me back in front of the camera. How about that?
You're not getting away.
I can't get away.
You're not
You
getting
started
away.
a new job.
I did, right? Yes. First day on the new gig, so it's been good. It's been good.
How cool is that? First day of the new job, he's on the golf course.
So today we got kind of a fun show. We're gonna talk about what's happening at our golf courses, and then after that, are you on the lesson today with? Yeah, with our swing maestro here, Chris Kroetsh. So yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna have some fun. We're talking putting, right? Okay, cool. Let's lead off here. What do we got going on at our golf courses? I'm gonna look over at Matt Cook here. What do you got happening at Creek, man?
We've got the Muni Misfits. We are here at the beautiful 14th green at Rose Creek Golf Course on a calm day. It's going to be a nice one. It's going to be a busy weekend. We don't have a whole lot going on this weekend. We just completed our men's club championship last week. Kudos go out to Cody Cedarberg. Cody was our men's club champion. Great golf being played last weekend. But for the most part this week, we've got the Sunshine Kids out here on Monday. And other than that, I think the schedule is pretty clear. So look forward to having a nice week of golf next week. I think temperatures are supposed to be good. So yeah.
Wow. We need a weather segment too, where we can be on the map telling it. That was pretty slick.
Well, I'm with Greg, background.
I am.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm 6 months away from being a meteorologist. Truly.
We need a
And that's
green
not the
screen.
drink. That's the truly.
That's the truly.
So 6 months away. I thought that was a 3-month program.
Wow.
Well, as far, how do I segue into that? At Osgood, we have a lot of junior stuff going on. We just wrapped up our junior golf program on Mondays and Wednesdays. We had the All-Star competition for PGA Junior League out there. So we're going to be taking our All-Star teams, now the FM area All-Star teams, over to Moorhead Country Club to compete in the regional, or is it the sub-regional? I forget the terminology there. And then we also, today, we've got the Drive Chip Putt sub-regional at Osgood starting at 1 o'clock. There's just a lot of junior golf going on right now. So it's kind of getting to the tail end of the year. So, all these championships, all of these wrap-up things are coming on. And I'll tell you what, it's been a great year of junior golf, and we've had 100 kids in our junior golf program. We've had another about 16 kids in our PGA Junior League program. I know you guys all help out with PGA Junior League. It's just been a really, really active year, so it's good to see that golf is thriving at the junior level for sure. So, and then we have just open play on the weekend. So, kind of looking forward to saying open play. Yeah. All right. What do you got going on at Edgewood?
We've had a great week this week. Super busy. Tomorrow we have our Edgewood Men's Club Championship, which will be great. I think we have about 120 guys signed up, so it'll be an awesome day. Next week we have Bison Tea Makers on Wednesday. Other than that, we just have teams in regular golf. So with high school practice starting Monday with golf, and I'm sure other things started from earlier this week. We are making a little change over to maybe school, ball, things like that. But we're excited. The weather gets a little bit better now on, so I'm gonna play some golf.
It feels a little fallish right now. Right? So I was out picking the driving range last night, and that sun is dipping much quicker now. You can tell. I don't know why I'm so surprised. It happens every year, but it's one of those moments where you're like, it's happening. So, anyways, lots of good golf still left to be played, and golf courses are just in awesome shape right now. So Fall golf's like my favorite time to play golf. So, and if you haven't done so already, fargogolf.net. Head on over there. Check out the 5 public golf courses here in the Fargo Park system. Fargogolf.net. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Muni Misfits in the morning. You can catch us on YouTube. You can also see us on Facebook, and you can listen to us on Spotify. Check out all the channels there. Happy to get the follow, the like, the subscribe. Oh, I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. So, do we have anything else to talk about as far as like, do you, I mean, we crush Live every single time. There is, how are we feeling about the Live Golf Tour right now?
It's been off my radar this week.
No way. There's no way it can be off your
It's
radar
been off
right
my
now.
radar.
Really?
Yep.
With all of the players coming out and
Live play.
so it's an interesting experiment. However, it's getting ugly, isn't it? It's getting ugly, and I don't know what's going to happen after all of this is said and done. How are those 11 players that how are they going to come back? They're not, even if it was deemed they could come back on tour, I would want to.
The hardest part, we knew this was going to end up in the court. This was going to end up in the court. But once that happens, there's a lot of public things out there now that I'm so sure all those players want that.
Yeah.
Maybe they do, but there'll be a lot of stuff going on. We'll see how long it takes. This will be a long run.
Right, well, the way that Monahan is handling the PGA Tour, I don't know. That's like, I still think the best way this whole thing could be handled is just let them go play. Anyways, I don't let them play. The PGA Tour is still the gold standard. It always will. Didn't say always will be, but I feel like they hold the majors. They hold all the cards. They're just competitive. And I don't know. I watched a little bit of the Live Tour at Bed. It was awful. It was awful. It was awful. It was not interesting at all. Did you watch it?
I didn't know, but I saw some of the crowd. I don't know if you saw that video at all.
Yep.
The crowd's really like it.
Yep.
Not a good one.
It kind of, this last one kind of felt like a little bit of, but and tell you what, it's the whole social media. That is, there's a lot of material out there now on the Twitter universe. There's some good things, and there's some really not so good things on social. So, anyways, yeah, we'll see. When's the next event for that? Anyone?
I don't know.
I think Matt knows.
Yeah.
You're like their #1 subscriber. Yeah. You love Liv. All right. And then we do have local playing out in the British. Amy, right?
Yep.
So we got an update on Amy. What's happening with Amy?
Amy shot +3 yesterday. She plays late today. I think after yesterday, kind of looking +2, so it's kind of a good game today that she plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are they playing? Don't know.
Deerfield.
Deerfield. Ooh. Okay. Cool. Gosh, they're probably right now.
Yep.
Okay. So, good luck, Amy. Play well.
Yes.
Take it deep. All right. We want to. You got anything else? We want to hop into some instruction. Okay.
Yeah.
So before we get into the instruction, though, what are we working on? Like, key us in on to how you even start a putting lesson.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like an ending lesson, you have to ask a question, find out what the player wants and stuff like that. But I think, you kind of want to get to a decent assessment of what the player is doing. Because I mean, in any lesson, I mean, there's the player's perception of what they're struggling with, but then there's our objective assessment of where than the reality. You know, so I think getting a good picture of where their skill set is at. You know, specifically with putting, like, I mean, how can you control your distance, right? How do you start the ball on line, and how do you read a green? I mean, those are kind of the three basic starting points for where someone's skill set is at. And you can go into it deeper too and start looking at aim and address versus aim and impact and sort of biases and things like that. But I think that's maybe a little further down the road.
So, Pace, are you a good putter?
I don't want to talk about
Not
that
anymore.
Do you track your stats at all?
I do. I have a spreadsheet. Yeah.
That's right. You're a spread
The old school.
What kind of stats do you have as far as putting goes?
So like 3 putts and things like that, anything worse, and then 1 putts and all that jazz. You know, GURs, fairways, but.
So do you know, like, as far as 3 putts per round or 4 putts per round?
Yeah, I usually just have 3 putts around.
Okay. And how many putts per round?
Usually just about that 28 to 32, so that's not actually too bad.
So how many greens in regulation?
Those numbers can bump up a little bit, but I'm right around, 8.
The only reason why I ask is because this is kind of interesting because it's like, I'm sure all of you, just like Chris said, do kind of assessments. And you all ask them, like, what are some of the strengths of your game? What are some of the weaknesses of your game? How is full swing, how you have to be, how is short swing? It's amazing how people tell me, pretty good. I don't know, in your opinion, Chris, what would be pretty good then, knowing what pace to set? What would be pretty good or
I mean, what skill level do you have? I mean, are you someone who shoots 95 or are you someone who shoots 70? And like the traditional stats, like if you look at total putts, for example, like if you looked at 28 putts per round, you look at that and go, yeah, that's pretty good, but then if you start to look at, well, I'm having 28 putts around, but I'm only hitting 6 greens around, right? It's skewed a little bit, so you kind of have to look at it from that perspective. I think that's where, like, the stroke speed stats are out there today, like, is a real good indicator of how you're putting. But those are difficult to track, unless you can get, like, some online apps, like, for example, there's one out there right now, it's called Golf Metrics. It's actually, that's the app that Mark Brody, who started Strokes Game on the PGA Tour, uses for himself and then sells it to people who want to use it. And you can keep, like, really good stats there, and you get a really good picture for where am I at, and it'll compare you to, like, that of a scratch golfer, but also a PGA Tour player, so you can kind of get a good picture of where you're at. But I think a better way, in a really simple way, actually, that, like, everyone can do it, like, you can just track 3 putts, okay? Or not 3 putts, but track 4 putts, right? So you can see, like, okay, I'm going to track and then track, starting at 4 feet, okay? Did I make it or miss it? So that after your round's over, you can go back and you can look at your numbers, right? You can say, okay, I had a 3 putt here, but I made my putt that was under 4 feet, okay? Or I missed the putt that was under 4 feet, okay? So if you had a 3 putt and you missed the 4-footer, then you would have an indication that, hey, my speed was okay, but my short putting continued, right? Or if you were making all of your 4-footers, right, but still having 3 putts, then it's like an indication that, well, my speed needs, right? So that you can kind of start to pinpoint the variable that you spend time on, so, like, obviously, short putts and long putts both require that you have to be able to read green. Long putts require that you need to be able to control where your putt stops rolling. That's the real key of putting, right? My ability to make just being able to stop your ball on a flat surface, right? Where speed control is being able to stop your ball on a slope, right? Because all 30 footers are not created equal, right?
Mine is melting already. I
Oh,
can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for you, man. This
So,
is awesome.
yeah. So I mean, you know, if you have a flat 30 footer, right, and to be able to stop the ball on that surface versus you have a severe uphill requires a different delivery speed, whatnot, just like it requires a different delivery speed on a downhill, right? So, like you can start to like break it down and then start to understand like, okay, is it my speed? And then you can really go like a whole nother level deeper than that, right? You go like, okay, what is it about speed? Is it the size of the stroke? Is it an acceleration or deceleration issue? Or is it a time and tempo issue? And really break it down. So like that's how I go about it. Like for me, it's kind of like a big tree that I start to think about, right? Where it's like, okay, I have being able to make people stop rolling is kind of like the ultimate skill, right? And then if that's an issue, right, then I go into is it speed, green, or start line? And then if it's a speed issue, is it a size of the stroke, acceleration, decelerations, or timing and tempo? If it's start line, is it a face issue? Am I mishitting it on the face, or is it a path issue? And if it's a green rating issue, you go, okay, I got to understand what the variables are. I got distance from the hole, I got the angle to the slope, I got the amount of slope that I'm on, and then the amount of time it takes the ball to get to it. So I just work my way through my chart like that, and then start to figure out, okay, which variable is it we need to work on, and then that's where we kind of key in and just spend our time working. Sounds more,
I like the tree.
yeah.
But I wasn't trying to throw face on the duck as far as their stats, but I think that's kind of what we do. It's like, like you said, two or three putt. You know, if a person, I think most people measure themselves by score. So I just think the low hanging fruit as far as to improve your score the quicker would be in the short term.
I think so.
I'm not saying cutting and chipping leads.
Yep.
But I'm thinking if you were going to try to close the distance between two players and ball striking, or close the distance between players and short game, I would think you may have a little better chance of closing the distance.
I think so. I think, you know, the putting stroke is a motion that anyone can do at any age, right? Not everyone's going to be able to hit the ball 300 yards. It's very, very difficult to do. But moving the putter from, you know, here to here is not that difficult. Like anybody can do that, and anybody can learn those skills. So I mean, it's if Dustin Johnson came here right now, I think I asked this question before, right? You know, if Dustin Johnson came here right now and said, Chris, I want to play it for $1,000. We can go to the first K&F driving contest, or we can go to the putting green and have a putting contest. What are you going to do? You're going to putt all day, you know? So it's kind of a good example of, I think for a lot of golfers, like the quickest area that you can probably save strokes the easiest, right, is putting it short. Now, if you really want to get to the next levels and things like that, you have to work in your full swing, because the stat out there that's most closely correlated to score is greens in regulation. You know, if you go out and hit 18 greens in regulation, you can be kind of a poor putter and still probably shoot around even par. You know, but if you go and you hit 6 greens, now you're busy.
Yep.
You know,
So that kind of leads us into like how you were saying strokes gained. You know, can you tell us how that is all calculated? That strokes gained.
So basically, what they know, like the tour started tracking these stats. So Mark Brody, who's a MIT professor in the business department there, and goes into businesses and analyzes businesses and how their work and how they're efficient and whatnot, tries to help them be more efficient, right? Well, they needed a way that they could compare putting to driving to right? So they started tracking how many shots does it take to pull out at certain different distances. Okay, so they know because they've tracked every shot on the tour since 2002. They have millions of shots in their database, right? So they can tell you that a tour player standing on the tee at 400 yards is going to average 4 strokes to hole out. Okay, they can tell you at 8 feet, a PGA Tour player is going to average 1.5 strokes to hole out. Okay, so basically, like if you take that 8-footer, right, and you make it, okay, you took 1 stroke to hole out, you beat the average by half a shot. You just gained half a stroke compared to the average. If you missed it, you lost half a stroke. Okay, so, and they just look at all of those as a whole in each of the areas. So, ready? Let's go.
Ready?
All right.
Yep.
All right.
I didn't really. Oh, I thought you meant like name it or something. Yeah, you could do that. That's just Ralph.
Ralph looks good. Got a longer walk here.
I'd rather go to fun green than full swing. And, like I said, full swing is important, but that's where you make fun. Yeah.
So describe like in more detail, like so one, putting sounds like it excites you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where you go and practice. So you just naturally put in a little more time than probably the average.
Correct.
So, but tell me about like what about your putting do you feel like you're good at?
I feel like I can read a green fairly well,
Okay.
better than most people. At least that's what some of my buddies have told me. Now they're probably lying, but who knows? So I feel that is important. I do have a little bit of the Will Zalatoris syndrome, a little bit on the short putts. Kind of bringing it back a little weak and things like that. But those are kind of the top 2 ways. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, let's do this. Let me just watch a couple here. For a minute. We'll just kind of maybe work our way in a little circle around the hole, and
Yeah.
I'll just get a little observation of where you're at and ask a few more questions. All right.
Beginner's luck.
So, when you struggle, what do you struggle with?
Distance crossing.
Okay.
Either leaving it too short or blast too high.
Will it happen like with this putt right here? Like will you do the short one?
Yeah. The ones that you should probably get there, right?
Sure.
Your shorter ones, I am probably leaving a little shorter too.
Okay. So tell me like a little bit about what are your beliefs? When you watch someone on short, what do you like to watch about? Is there one person in particular that you like? What do you like about Tiger, the way he?
It just seems natural. He's consistent, obviously. He's, like I said, when I'm bringing mine back, sometimes I can get a little wobbly, coming back like that. And I just think from back to forward, and I'm try and work on that a little bit as well. So,
Anyone else that you like?
let's see, I'm trying to think who else. I like Sergio a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of like Sergio, a little different, but I think through high school I was kind of wider on my stance, and now I've kind of closened up a little bit too. So just trying to find that balance.
Okay. So if you were going to look at like you're standing over a 30-foot putt versus this 4-footer right here, do you feel like you're better at the 30-footer or better at the 4-footer?
Probably. Honestly, I was gonna say a 30-footer because on those I like pick a spot on the green, right?
Okay.
Here I'm like my spot's the hole.
Sure.
When you're 30 feet out, I'm kind of picking my own spot, and that way. So Granted, you know, I'm probably gonna have a better chance taking this than the 30 footers, but I kind of feel a little more comfortable on the longer ones because I'm, you know, all right, where's my spot? Got to go there, and then just move to the hole.
And what about, like, if you have a left to right putt versus a right to left putt, do you like one better than another?
Probably right to left more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll that one. Okay. Roll these balls, get them to stop as close to the frame as you can.
Didn't eat my breakfast.
Eat my Wheaties. Okay. When you get on fast greens versus slow greens, do you notice differences in how you putt?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens? What's different?
Slower ones, that's when I'm, you know, blowing it by, you know.
Okay.
Slower greens when I'm blowing it by. So, fast ones, the longer putts maybe a little more tricky for me.
So it kind of sounds to me a little bit like this is a speed type issue.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's do something. We'll put a couple balls down. I've been doing this for probably 10 or 12 years, this assessment right here. And here's what I want you to do. All I want you to do is I want you to roll this golf ball past this ball right here. Just barely past it, okay? And just stop it somewhere over here. What we're going to do is I'm just going to put this ball kind of down right behind it just to mark where that ball was. And then I want you to roll another ball. And I want you to roll it just barely past this, okay? And we're going to see how many times you can move this golf ball in between that ball and that ball. Okay. You're going to get to a point where once you get over here so far, you're going to roll the ball past this one. You're done. Okay, that's your score. If at any time you leave your ball short, you're done. That's your score.
Yep.
Okay?
Right.
I'm just going to kind of mark it off. Oops, leave that one there. Oh. Yep, there you go. I'm going to leave this one kind of off to the side. Yep. So you just roll it kind of in this lane right here. There's two. There's three.
Room there.
No. Getting close.
I mean, that's really good.
That's a little short. Okay, so three. Okay, so now again, I've been doing this one for probably 10 or 12 years with people, so I feel like I have a good sense of what good is. I think 8 is good.
So 3's bad.
3 is not. Well, I mean, so here's the thing, right? Don't think of it as bad. Think of it as an opportunity. True. Right?
Yep.
Like if we isolate this and get something figured out for you, right? You're going to be better. So it's not that it's bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I need to grab my board over here.
Yep.
Let me grab it.
All right.
Hey, I want you to know, 8 is really good. Like, that's, you've seen people do more than 8 in a distance that far.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
So, okay. So, we know just from conversation and watching you that likely speed is the issue. Okay, so we got to start to figure out, like, okay, is it size of the stroke, is it accelerations, or is it time? I think just from observation, using my eyes, I think we got a little bit of an acceleration issue. And I also think that because of how you describe things on fast greens, right? Is that and even the slow greens where it's like you kind of tend to leave a lot of stuff short, right? So as I watch your stroke, I see kind of a generally slow backstroke and then long follow through, right? So that's kind of like you swing it back to the blue marks. I don't use this for mark. I use this for size of the stroke. That's kind of your stroke, right? So that is, in every stroke that I've ever measured, I have a device that'll measure like the accelerations and decelerations and all that crazy stuff. Everyone that I see who goes back short and through long, almost everybody is accelerating a lot, right? And that makes it very, very difficult to control speed, because the putter head is changing speed rapidly. And the peak speed of the putter head is actually happening over here, right? So if you miss the ball on the arc a little bit, it's going very different distances over a very short time window. It makes it super hard to get the ball to stop where you want it to. Okay, so let's make the opposite stroke. Okay? I want you to swing back to the red and through to the blue. Okay? Good. Okay, so that would be a decelerating stroke.
Yep.
And we really don't want to be on either end, right? Even though I would prefer to see almost deceleration as opposed to acceleration. Okay, and it's very much the opposite of what all people think. They think swing it back short, slow, and hit it, right? But what they don't know is it's like the biggest myth in putting, right? And it causes more issues than helps. So sometimes, you know, those simple concepts that we think about really actually end up making things more complicated. But it does seem intuitive. It seems simple, but it's very, very bad, right? So what we want, and I like that you chose Tiger, right? Because when you watch Tiger make the stroke, right? If he pulls the putter head back a foot, he goes through 2 feet, right? If he goes back 2 feet, he goes through 2 feet. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. And we're going to teach you what this feels like. You're the golfer, or the player, right? The thing, you need good mechanics, right? But then you need to be able to take those good mechanics and turn them into feels. That's what we play with, right? Okay? If you want to be an artist, right, it's got to start with the mechanics first, and then that turns into feels, okay? So what I want you to do is I just want you to swing back to the red and through to the red, okay? Just make a balanced stroke for me. Good. Okay, now here's what I want you to do. I want you to add some speed to that, okay? I want you to significantly speed up your backstroke, okay? And think of it like this. I'm going to give you like a piece of gold right here, okay? You ever swing on a swing?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're going up the back of the swing and then coming back down, what do you got to do to get yourself moving? Use your legs, right? So you hold on to the chains, okay? And you start swinging your legs, right? And pulling on the chains, right? So you get to a point where you start getting to the top of the swing, okay? And you got to slow yourself down over here, right? But you also need enough speed going up the back so that you slow yourself down and then you pick that speed up again on the way down, right? You don't have enough speed to your backstroke, right? So you're short and slow, and then boom, you get that burst of speed, right? Which is causing the issue. You need more length and speed in your backstroke, and then you got to slow that down, okay? And then change the directions and go, right? You need enough speed in your backstroke so that you don't have to apply the speed in the downstroke. Okay, so you're a little girl on the swing, right? You go back, pull on the chain, stretch your leg out, slow yourself down, and then you start going the other direction, and then you got to slow yourself down on the other side. Okay?
Red to red, or?
You're going to stack it, right? You're going to get it pretty hard. Good. Do it again. And as you do it, I want you to feel like a little flow, right? Like as you're going back, like even as you're slowing down on the swing, right? You're still going back a little bit, right? Okay. So I want to see like a little flow, like even as you kind of change directions with your hands, the club head's still going back. There you go, you just did it. Okay? Speed it up, and let's keep the size the same. Attaboy. Give me more speed. I want you to do it so that you feel it, right? The faster you do it, the more you're going to feel it, and that's what you're looking for. Okay? Attaboy. Give me faster. I want this thing to like...
Hit him in the shins.
Yeah. There you go. Attaboy. Okay, what do you feel in your hands? That's what I want you paying attention to, because that's what you got to key in on.
So when I almost feel when I'm coming back, then my hands are the first things coming.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Coming through.
Yeah, good. Yep, do it. Attaboy. Probably a little extreme right there.
Yeah, yeah,
okay?
yeah,
But,
yep,
but
yep,
for
yep.
the purposes of learning, you did it, right?
Yep. Get that feel.
There you go. Can you feel that in your hands?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what you need to learn, right? That's what you need to feel, okay? It's going to be a little extreme, like if you kind of overdo it a little bit, that's totally cool because you're learning, right? So these things are not easy to change because you get on the golf course and you have to perform. You got the gun in your head. You don't want to go back to the old pattern, right?
Yeah.
So I had a boy that I worked with on his putting the other day, and we were kind of working on something real similar, right? And he got it. I'm measuring these the whole time on my little device, right? And then the second that I gave him his performance drill, he started to creep back, right? So all of this stuff, right, is more neurological based than anything, right? Yeah. So because as we watch you move, is it you moving? What's moving? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's not you moving.
No.
It's your central nervous system.
My central
that's moving
nervous,
you, right?
Yeah.
Pinocchio and Geppetto,
Yeah.
right? You see Pinocchio moving, but is it him moving? No, it's Geppetto moving him, right? Geppetto's your central nervous system, and that's what's moving you, right?
Okay.
Until you change that, and that only changes by changing your concepts and beliefs, right? I've just given you good concepts, good principles, and good beliefs, right? That, like, now you can change it, but you got to put in the reps.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So do that again. Hey, boy. It was awesome. Good. Okay, so you know what it feels like now, right? So your practice now would look like when you go to the putting green, right? You're not going to just drop a bunch of balls, okay? You're going to start doing this, okay? So you're going to go there and you're going to maybe set up golf balls a foot apart. And you're going to make sure that your stroke is staying symmetrical. I go back a foot, I go through a foot.
Yep.
Okay? And you're going to smack some balls across the green so you create the feel.
Yep.
Okay? After 20 balls of doing that, now you got to test yourself, right? So you got to get into your performance work, right? So the PGA Tour players, which are the best putters in the world, leg the ball to an average of what percentage of the total distance do you think?
30.
10. Right? So if they got a 10-footer, they're going to leg it to about a foot. Okay. A 20-footer, they're going to leg it to 2 feet. Okay? So let's just set up the gate. Like there's a foot. There's 2 feet. Now let's start 10 feet. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to make the same stroke you were just making. But you got to get the ball to stop inside this 1 foot window right here.
Okay.
Okay? So let's see you do it. Bang. Right? That's okay because you're still learning, right? Okay? So what you got to do now is you got to learn how to control the size of that stroke, right? And the timing and tempo of it. Okay? All these mistakes are opportunities to learn, right? There you go. Get closer each time. Right, so a little something that I find that helps. You're thinking about this whole zone, right?
Yeah.
Think about stopping it at that ball.
Okay.
There you go. Good. All right, you get it inside the zone, you get to move back a foot. Okay? Good. Move back another foot. We're going to mark this as a 10-footer right here.
So for that first one?
Yep, still in the first zone. Good, in the zone. Back another foot, so you're at 13. Boom, out of the zone, you got to move forward a foot. Okay, so this would be your performance drill. I just call this leapfrog.
Okay.
Okay, kind of going
Yep,
back
yep,
and forth,
yep.
right? So every time you get a ball in the zone, you get to move back. Every
Yeah.
time you miss a zone, you move forward.
Yep.
Okay. Once you get to 20 feet, now you go to the 2-foot zone. And then when you're 30 to 40 feet, you go to the 3-foot zone.
Yep.
Right? And you just keep working your way forward and back like that. So you might start out, you know, roll a few putts, kind of get a feel for the speed of the greens, how they roll.
Yep.
Then you would get into your foundation work, right? That's what I call like your mechanics and feels, right? Size of the stroke and accelerations, okay? Spend 5 minutes there, and then you're gonna spend like 30 minutes doing this,
Yep.
right? Because this is what matters right here,
Yeah.
right? So, and now you'd be able to go to the putting green and have like an awesome like 35-minute practice
Yeah.
that's super focused on what you need, and you're gonna see the differences with the putting. So,
That's awesome.
any other questions?
I think that's it. Thank
Okay,
you.
there you go.
I appreciate it.
For sure. And you're going to be going
That
from
was
a good
good.
putter to a great putter.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
We know what's
The leapfrog.
happening in the events department today, don't we?
Yes, yes. We'll be rolling some putts.
That was good stuff, Chris. I mean, it was some great instruction. I mean, the diagnosis as far as talking, as far as the pace and kind of getting things figured on out. Some great drills and exercises to work with too to really kind of improve as far as your putting performance. So now it's all up to you.
Yeah, yeah. And too, I got some buddies out there that are like, you know, nervous to go get a lesson or whatever. They think they know it all, but I'm just telling you, man, talk to these guys. You know, all of them give lessons that they're great, and FargoGolf.net. But I'm just saying, I know some of my guys that I play with are a little nervous to go, you know, actually see how does my, you know, what does somebody else think of my swing? A professional, what do they think of my swing? So go do it. These guys are great.
Yeah, and like, you know, we just saw it here. I think Casey said a lot of people are kind of going to take a look at their swing. Putting is a swing as well. And so putting and chipping and pitching are going to be very, very important. So those are lessons too that I really encourage everybody to take a look at. You may think that you're a good short game player, but I think you may find out that there could be room for improvement, would you say?
And there's room everywhere.
Awesome. Thanks for tuning in, folks. So this is Muni Misfits in the morning, Friday, 7 o'clock, every single time. YouTube, Facebook, subscribe, follow us, listen to us on Spotify. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week, folks.